Aloha mai kako. I think you know most of my videos are about the animals that live on our reefs. And for most of us, the animals, both the vertebrates, like the fishes and the turtles, and the invertebrates, like the cnidarians, mollusks, and echinoderms, are the most obvious and exciting things we see when we swim, snorkel, free dive, or scuba dive on Hawaii's reefs. But in this video, I want to talk about something from the plant kingdom, an algae known as Coralline algae, or sometimes referred to in the literature as CCAs. I'd like to explore with you the importance of Coralline algae on the structure of coral reefs in Hawaii and the world. I also want to show you some photos I recently took at Hanauma Bay so you can start looking for these beautiful plants. The first thing you'll notice when viewing Coralline algae, especially at Hanauma Bay, is that CCAs don't look like a typical algae. Coralline algae is part of a group of algae known as red algae and exists in a more two-dimensional world than most of the world's algae. The colors of these algae are most typically pink or some other shade of red, but some of the species can be purple, yellow, blue, sometimes white, and sometimes a gray-green. You'll find the Coralline algae encrusting rocky surfaces and even encrusting dead coral heads. These multicolored stony crusts are found in sunlit parts of our reefs. Coralline algae play a variety of important roles in many marine ecosystems, but particularly on coral reefs. The three-dimensional appearance of our reefs, and I think you know this, is mostly caused by our stony corals, which produce limestone as they grow upwards to the sun. Corals may create the major structures and serve as the bricks of the reef, but as we all know, bricks cannot stand without a strong cement or mortar. CCAs are the mortar that hold our reefs together. They grow as a crust over and between the fragments and gaps in coral reefs and essentially cement the coral bricks together. Importantly, they also provide chemical attractors and physical surfaces that encourage larvae settlement. They create a structure along with the coral, then invite the coral larvae to make a new home. Although Coralline algae are affected by water temperature and ocean acidification, just like corals, they may be a key to a quick recovery of a reef after a serious bleaching event. The presence of healthy CCAs may foretell the recolonization of healthy coral. The next time you go snorkeling or diving, please check out all the surfaces that are covered with Coralline algae, and there are lots of them at Hanauma Bay. Not only are they beautiful, but they can tell you a lot about the health of the coral reef system. Surprisingly, there's not a lot of historical research on Coralline algae. However, more scientists are beginning to look at these fascinating plants and learning more about their importance to healthy coral reefs. Mahalo mai kako, e ka pa'a ma ke aloha, i ka aina.